To all who are joining live streaming and who are here, and I offer you the milk tea of immeasurable, which occurs from immeasurable compassion and immeasurable bodhichitta. I offer you these to all 3 times of Buddhas, and I offer these all the beings of realms, and also I offer these all beings of who are in nirvana and in the samsara.
Opening prayers. Darbatan Dam Jin Jim Bur Bur Du Ju Bar Zip Batan Jin Jin Tor Zip Manam Kada Nyam Bizim Jin Tam Jin Dewa Dan Den Dong Ar Dan Ra Nyar Dala Name Boyang Da Bar Zobe Sanjaram Boje Zobar Zo.
All mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. All mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment.
Oi de je de sa ma je je ba de le nga ye sam ge wa la go ma je ba de le nga ye sam ge wa la go de re ne som da jam je ba de le nga ye sam ge wa la go.
For that purpose, until I attain Buddhahood, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Until death, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. From today until this time tomorrow, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue.
Hoi san cheng nyen buen chi je bo san je nan la ja sun je je da san je san ba ye zo lan de ye je da man je de ye je san je do ne je ba da san je san be lo ba la de da ren ye ne ba da de ye no la pen de san je san ne je je de ye do na la ba la ren ba ye de la ba ye.
I take refuge in the Buddhas until attaining the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhichitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhichitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path. I take refuge in the Buddhas until attaining the essence of awakening. Likewise, I take refuge in the Dharma and in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. Just as the Buddhas of the past gave rise to bodhicitta and progressed along the Bodhisattva's path, so shall I give rise to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and practice the stages of the Bodhisattva's path.
Hoi san je je dan so jen chanan la san je ba de da ne ja san je da ge jen so je be se nam je do la pe so san je do ba yo.
Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings.
Hoi mai nam ga da nyam be sen jin tan je de wo dan de ve ja dan den ba ja je dong ai je ja dan da wa ja je Donga me vedewa damenda vajaje. Nyere jada nyedan jarve danyalane varjaje.
May all Mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Vajrakilaya's text, page number 1.
Hoi taming gombo gansan dorje jo. Renga chanto leje wo moje. Hoi je longbo dorje ten chenza. Cheme yen yen dun de jen ya. Lamas barjen jane mo. Jemba nyerma jeba na je. Yevaron zong kwere gajela. Zorwan de zodave zong taisha. Jeje wanso goje dem treje. Sanje lembo de me dorje ya. Renje bordo randor ve male. Den dene den zovlen dorje zar. Raden jodjelen so der jola. Zorwan din so gomben tang jeya. Manya barjen senjen of hozo. Hadang lang dang azar nereya. La lai sang don yoga lo maya. Dan jarin sang ro jar der dole. Chame ya so kawa jeb dala. Sorwan de so jebe so seyo. Jam trai xie zhou ren du dor jie sam. Sang wa gen jie. Jie jie. Che do jie jie dor jie nam ban jiong. Kan den chen le jie do zo pe la. Jie jie yen le nyen jie che we ge. Den den bar wa jian bo nyam jie ga. Ba chen chen jiong ban zer ge ma ra. Yen yao song jiong kon lo jian de ya. Top dang per sin chop je dang jar zor. Chan tao go song dan je. Da je per ve je jen kolor da na ye de chen do ye de che me nyen do la tem ne do ye jang ta den bai yo don da ge da ye he nyam yor ve me zen bar will draw one den cha ye san jo zen je per ba yom je ka tem ne zen jo je ve den do yo si jo do je do wo yong de de do sa ya nan zen ne me do we ze ma ze je per ba no tem ne na be ze kan tan je yo phong be de jo na me la re do nya mon de jon de don sa je de je da de jon je me te wa nye la ve de jon len de sa to yo le ye yon den je po nyan de je ba da ma ngan je me wa je ba je da ge do be nye se de ba je tan tong gong pa jo da yo Petrov. Hoi namo lama kunjo ye dan la jarwa jam se ta je la da dan ro wo sen je la go sam gui be ya so je oi namo lama kunjo ye dan la jarwa jam se ta Zeme Yara Zenje Doi.
Page 7.
Hai Won Ben Dane Dai Gandale Hana Hana Hong Pe Wome Soba Wajeda Zarwa Dharma Soba Wajeda Dong Ben An Le Zheng Le Ramboji No da wong le do ma de ze jo o ai ho ai ho ai ho je te ve de lo ga ba la sa ba re war ben za sa ma za Lokabala sabare vara idam balendo kaka he kahe onje deve deve lokabala sabare vara idam balendo kaka he kahe onje deve deve lokabala Idam balenda gaga
Page 13. 71.
Vajrakilaya Suru Suru Ta Suru Adita Omo Hala Hala Dragwen Jombo Zeta Nyamaraya Om Pe Om Vajrakilaya Mangadala Mangadala Tadala Tadala Shadaraja Hom Dragwen Jombo Maraya Hom Pe Om Vajrakilaya Raktanzola Mandala Mandala Raja Raja Dragwen Vashamguru Maraya Hom Pe Do Ba Jin Nam La Tong Zhou Yin Kang Sem Jian Zhou Wa Ji Se Jia Ba Ju Da Ni Ba Jian Bo Sa Da Wei Jian Ko Jie Ding De A Gar Bo Yan Bai Nian Me Jin Ku Jie Ding De Ma Mar Bo Ye Jie Sor Mo Al Da Wei Jian Ku Si Ma Ge Ba Zhang Ai Ding De O Hong So A Hai Yan Jie Sor Mo Al me jin ku si ma ke ba za nga ye den tu mum la ma ba da yin zhe na wu de xue wei san qing er ju de le re nga ya yum ju lam ji sa wa ju wo ma hai xue ne dan jiang so ba wa ma gu hai sa ma ya ho sa ma ya dan ben za in za le ya yum nyom bar yob san cho sem ja o zer ja par pa kar dim je yun ye ge hong ten gar jo won ben za ge le ge lai hong zai hong ye yong se jur ba le cho wan ten na ya ji san ye jin san ba sa ye per ve da yen jiang je nam ba ge me nam jia je per ba ser san no war da ten ba gar je sol me ne ten ba da me ya cha cha cho wa de ye jiang de guo ma la hong ga ra jian xiao jie la cho wo jie jiang de wo ma la do bo jie de cho wo jie ya yang chan ta dan jie ba jiang de wo觉心觉我的机会跟也晚上了盆上今年那啥我就大大心跳个把不不个他们去讲车枪听那那咱把下几3年增加那做拖见下当去我再把格拉呀也扎的日中本参没把当把就艰苦生节拉走南节扎瓦温嘎布人把阿玛布多嘎红蒙布日日真把就红三节棍节然因个安节多节去原来把为着我们是把个也是大姐姐这位忘了我是干风车所节节我能接个了你别去把盆个也头节三了当节我们节那把车的这外天北的节是人瞧的吧的我是把他们节节个都当年都叫我不大个了个来该样变成呢做了站做了站做了扑着萨瓦那萨巴那耶红配红三节棍节让耶送安节多节去原来把为着我们是把送给耶的大姐姐点把阿勒我是马风之所节节我能接送了一边去把婆送给上了当阿耶根阿拉天边阿根的板桥的板的我是把他 je song do ji da ni do jo won be ma ge le ge lai wa gan ben zhen ne sarvan de zhen shi xiao da na ye hong pe hong san ji gun ji ran yin dong ma ni do ji jie yuan le bar we zhou wu me zi ba to jie yin de da ji ji to ge hong le wo zhen ngang bong zhi so ji jia wa nam ju ba per to jie san la tam ji hong ge nam ba zi de nian kai den be sem jie de do qiu de ba de wa xi ba tam jie jie to do ji da ni do jo wo ban za ge le ge lai ji da ben za ne be da le men da man ge da la zha da la wong pe yin ko sem jie do jie sem jie sa wong le song wu se jie sem jie tan jie jie so ye xie wan ge rei zhe ge nian mong ba ne jiang de sa wong a ne se zhe de zhou de jie de zhou bo yang wu de shen wong a huan sem de jie chen de ne da da sem qiu ge ne sem le ten kan sa sa ba sa la wan jie wa jiu ba xiao re sa ma ya za hong ba hoi wong ta jie jie ben zhou den de san tai nian ji gang de wa san jian chen le zong zi be wang dang e zhen de zhou jie oi sa pa ra na pei jie to ge hong le wo zi so jian zhe so jie jia wa ge ne da nian ko dan jie ba la po to jie ge de wang ge we so wa da de de wa ye bo dan jie jie ge san to yan den zhen le tan jie jie mo wo fa wo zhen ge ran ye qiao da bai san hua ran na hong ge de dang guo wei nian an de de ten ba le song we ho zhang shi ben la ma pa da na se jie de da le karma he ra ga zo wa jie ren a ya yuan jie ge jie be jian san ne de jie jian ba le jie nan gan chan tong ya yan nan te be kan wei you wen na ya wan ge yang se zhou bai jie page 21 ra ran to ge wo se jie ye xie san ba jian zhang jiu yan taye kala rava chava jayoran ye le sharva tama jadarvala long avadana
Light rays radiate throughout the 10 directions from the seed syllable and the mantra string at my heart, invoking the 3 roots Samaya from their very hearts. All their blessings of body, speech, and mind descend like rainfall in the form of white Om, red Ah, and blue Hong, dissolving ceaselessly into my 3 places. Then all the blessings and powers of all the victorious ones, compassion in the form of inconceivable Vajrakilaya deities, large and small, gently fall and merge with me. The deities of my body mandala, as well as the deities in union residing within my channels, are like the seeds of an open sesame pod. They and all the mandala deities recite the mantra, resounding like a broken beehive.
Yeah. 주로 남바 리바쇼 송 마콜라 메파테 로마님바나 리앙 사바나는 나타다 주당지 다고마 줘봤어 무슨 이런 곰치 받으라 다디 제대로는 송요래 소왕대서 곰벌 창수소 곰치 받아 샘로서 남가들이 남바 사지 좀 되지가 도바니 랑게 샘네 용선들서 또 샘들 그거리 르마가 사와트 요거 당기리 또 잡으는 샘들 그거리 고소해 나
Así te le lazo. Hakosong. Yeah. And so now Rinpoche said I'm going to speak a few words. Let's continue to recite the mantra, and maybe the older senior disciples are familiar with that, but for the newer disciples, so we speak about, in Buddhism, we speak about a view, a meditation, and a conduct. So for the meditation, it says in the lineage supplication, may I traverse, may I cross the dangerous path of meditation. And so there's this path, but the mind is going. And the Buddha had said that completely tame your own mind. So that is what we mainly need to do. We have to tame our own mind. The body and the speech, the actions of body and speech are the servants. The mind is most important. The mind is like the king. That's all.
다다 초아도 양리 제나야 고리리 다다다 잡도 샘지는 고정데 샘주 고들이 초 고물지마데 난 샘들어 거리 샘누데 샘 가리가 들고 거리는 들저데 당디 들고 거리 들제데 삼제가 들고 거리 들이 차로 두고 쇼거리 베데라들이 초아 양리는 사기 닝섬 남바 용도 가리는 도도 제대다 샘들제들이 하고 그래 데라들이 짬로 샘지 미리데 초가 제주 가리는 진짜 요말이 초가 제주리 맞으니 짬로 샘지 미리 진짜 요말이 뭘 샘지를 고쳐고 요래지.
Whenever we engage in a sadhana practice, it always begins with taking refuge and cultivating the motivation of bodhichitta. So this is where the practice, the meditation for the mind begins. That path always begins. It begins with taming the mind. And so what we need to tame is our self-grasping. And that which tames self-grasping is love. It is like an ice block needs to be melted with heat. And so whatever kind of sadhana we practice, a longer, medium length, or a shorter one, it all begins with refuge, taking refuge and cultivating a motivation of bodhicitta. And so there is not a single practice that would not begin with refuge or bodhicitta. Lasso?
남은 요집을 저는 뭐지 세리는 요자 요리데 들이다 단디데 들게다 삼진게 책이 많이 삼진게든 잡을 그 요지 요말 잡아는 요지 요말이 들이 삼진게 서로 쏘줘도 사지를 쏘줘래 사지들이 송들이 삼진게들이 송들 레좀데 송들이 다티 삼진게 레좀데들 내가 이제 삼지래도 그게 다 단지에서 대응 때문에 다들이 삼지들이 고성들이 뒤 섬지 산지 삼지게 다부 사조 줘도 턱지들이 다들이 다부지가 마다부지가 되네 들이 다도 뭐 상마지 받아 삼지에서 삼지 정도 되잖아 들이 파르도서 맞고 거리들이 다 삼지 자시부지야리 삼지 잡송하기 돈답게 되면 남카나기 그저거 삼지에 잡토나기 지저다 롱까지 마디 선당 가을그 삼당 기지 쳤달래디 산지에 탐지가 삼지디
talk about something so sure, which is something so sure, but just so sure, money, something so sure, money. Saji tap la ke ba ke samje de so shi le tri samje yi de zong de nyo to ge le de nyo de da ra de no mo ko chuo de ba ji wo saji yong di ha ko la ko chuo zong yong di ha ko o saji de samje to ko da de ko chuo zong de ba xing ko ma de ba ji la tri di yong ko chuo yong di shi la tri samje de za ji mo ha ko le samje ge ga le pe ge de la da chuo le samje dong le 接完了接车的车，那个拖的时候，对吧？你们先把有他通常这个忙拖着的，这个脑子这个呢，看成18岁的有嘛，常见嘛都，这个滚错的滚不错，这个咋有的？这上这70吧，这个过程呢，我上这个人他滚错什么用过的是，这个滚错什么用的是。 哦，这到上这了，我就把哈过去了。这这到朝鲜经济那块了，为了拉岗子，当我朝鲜那块经济也大的罢了。这里朝鲜经济，朝鲜人学霸没，学霸不就在这里那的罢了，爬到什么都他妈3个月嘞，你们这个你们错啥子？错啥子上这上面，先过嘛，得把啥过来，先我嘛这里，你就接了。 先过嘛了，得把这当进了，这些我们来，你就得在这个上，因为这个有的，这用的哈过了，我当我那常见用的上面没加不来的，的去有的去的上面去的，就不也是叫到了去的上面去的，第二礼拜也过年了，这里谁的，他多结果他常见的去的上面一起去的。 这他从这上这里，我这里头我上了这里全部都是这样嘛的，刚才讲过了嘛的，这是别的我讲过的，这里下过了，这他上这里咋就问了，上这用的什么叫，他们去讲什么叫的，上这的去年用的怎么过来的？
And so, in a worldly sense, generally speaking, people do business, and they, for example, sell or buy precious metals like gold, for example. And so, what's more precious is that which tames the self-grasping in the mind, and that is immeasurable love and compassion. But even though it's so valuable, it's not something you can buy anywhere in the world. So how can you obtain it? Who sort of sells it? You can only get it from the Buddha. The Buddha can kind of sell it to you. And how does the Buddha sell it to you? It is by giving you the Dharma, explaining to you karma, cause and effect, and love and compassion. And that love and compassion really actually is the essence of karma, cause and effect, because the only cause for happiness is love, and the only cause for suffering is self-grasping. And so the path for the mind really begins there, by cultivating love. All the Buddhas of the 3 times, including our Buddha, have first cultivated that mind of bodhichitta, the mind that is set on complete enlightenment. And then after cultivating bodhichitta, the Buddha then took 500 impure incarnations and 500 pure incarnations. And in the end, he ultimately attained enlightenment. He attained enlightenment because he completely tamed his own mind of self-grasping by practicing the 6 paramitas, by cultivating a vast mind of love, so vast like an ocean. And for example, in a 5-fold path of Mahamudra supplication prayer from the Drigong Kagyu lineage, it speaks of, in the very beginning, it speaks of this ocean-like, water-like treasure of bodhicitta. So it is like a vast ocean. And that is what you gain, what you get from the Buddha. And that is what the Buddha had accumulated until he attained enlightenment. He accumulated love for bodhicitta. So we are very good at accumulating money. We are not so good at accumulating love. The only place we can get that is from someone like the Buddha. And so to obtain it, we first should cultivate faith in the three jewels. And that means to understand the qualities of the Buddha, the qualities of the three jewels. And if you understand their qualities, then this is how you access the Buddha's love. So it begins with cultivating faith in the three jewels or the higher beings. Faith arises if you understand their qualities. And the quality is essentially love. So you recognize the preciousness of love. You recognize what is the benefit of love. The benefit of love is that if you have it, then from lifetime to lifetime, you will always take birth in the three higher realms, and ultimately you attain enlightenment. It is like a precious jewel, and there is no greater precious jewel anywhere to be found in existence. Only the Buddha has it, or the jewels. The literal translation of jewel is the supreme and rare one. So it's very rare, and that is what makes it also very precious. So this is where we start on our path with the mind. We start with love, and then understand that where do we get it from? It comes from the three jewels. So you recognize the qualities of the three jewels. And this is basically how you learn to sort of buy it, get it from the three jewels. And so when we do a sadhana practice, that is why we invite the wisdom beings or this field of deities, whichever deity you're practicing. It always begins with inviting all these deities. And then we offer them the 7 branches, such as making different offerings and so on. So we offer the 7 branches. And the essence of the 7 branches also is the 6 paramitas, which are the antidotes to the 6 afflictive emotions. And by practicing those 7 branches, we accumulate merit. And the actual merit, what we're actually accumulating, is a mind of love. And we are accumulating faith and devotion to the higher beings. And we are accumulating compassion for sentient beings. And there's a relation between them. The more faith for the higher beings you have, the more compassion for sentient beings will naturally arise within you. So it's good to understand that relationship, that quality. If you understand it, you will see that, the Buddha's qualities are incredible. The Dharma's qualities are incredible. The Dharma consists of 84,000 Dharma teachings, but they all have their essence in love and compassion. And that is something you should have complete certainty in. And then you recognize that my only true companion is the Buddha and the Dharma. Place your full trust in that. So the only thing that you really need to cultivate and hold on to is love. It's actually quite simple because it's something that you do with your mind. It does not require any external effort or hardship. And then once you have love, you need to preserve it, protect it with patience. And you can do that if you understand the preciousness of love. And so through this understanding, and you begin to recognize the preciousness of the Buddha and the preciousness of the Dharma. So it comes from understanding their good qualities. That's all.
Sept 동해 시바사서들 조조 모람들데 소소 빼핑들이 조조 모람들이 빼직 야가들이 딱서 이제 공부를 서로 성는 대해서 랑 나는 고통을 남라고 내가 대화 가리도 나가는 남도 돌셔서 동해 가리도 대저 살로다 오 대다वर 다 동해듯이 이 동해지 이모로 따들이 뭐 대화대 하고는 트리테도 모는 작을 때 싸와가리다 레주밀을 토대리 저가리 저먹게 원래 쪽토고리 레벨이 쪽토고요면 대사로들 모난 담지도 세지 동해도 동해 시발사서 동해의 실 다 뒤자와지 그래 나디는 통통 들들이 삼지 제도 마 제도 수도 다 그래 말을 고반냐 명도들 와서 고반냐 명도들 나기 줄 삼대도 가면 다 그래 오 잠블링이 다른 게 니니의 제 분산이 대담을 때 삼제를 잠에 요리 대야면 다 말이 제 정을 다들 지지 말았어야 밀리다 요면 들어오게 제가 요리돼 내가 지금 말았어야 미가 나디 제잖아 마게도 왔다 소들라고 그래 대저지 양대 대서 이거래 또 상태다 마남 가다니면 생기다 되고로 사는 파만 맞지가 제가 매 삼나 들이 참 아마는 보통만 아마 제요리 자자자 좀들이 시기하고 그 삼대 무슨 제거래 이 삼대의 공소는 우리 다들은 만나 과도 심지도 대화도 되는데 남지미 봐 삼지고도 로바 그래 일 가는 거 삼지기 삼지의 정 생부 참스를 잡대 랩터고 그래 세비제 찍고 하는데 대식이 찍고 하면 내가 삼지 제일문에 잡터고 그래 바디체제 탐제를 잡터고 그래 삼지 용디 하고서 끌라 잡아 삼아다가 또들 당어디랑 셈 삼바 되게 잡고 들어가면서 다시 삼바는 무슨 잡을 그 삼바 셈이 지라 들이 잡고요. 집이 동네 소용 거래. 그래서 가고는 농에도 소리 다 고소라 배랑 거야. 들이대 받아 나디들 마셔 그랬지. 소라도 그래. 별로 뭐 소원들이 다른 뭐들이 아메리카를 뽑고지요. 뭘로 보지요나? 어디 도지와게 제일 많이 몇시요 그래. 이다에 가리 자동 가요 지금은 대는 세pt 탐지 되는 일에서 수다로 왔다면 대하고서는 삼지 자치고래지 대 잡탑대 다들 아마마 되어 제가 매서 아무 대지역 계쳐버려 대지를 세pt 탐지 동이 서로는 사박을 고들이 저거래 대마 제가 바로 딱 하게 되어다 대대나 팽이 오면 고바냐 명단들 와서 말을 비해서 뭐 일단 대지를 매서 자고래지.
So as we mentioned, Buddha said, first you must recognize suffering. And then there's this dedication prayer of the Bodhicharya Avatara, Shantideva's dedication prayer that I personally find very beneficial. And so just to give one example from this prayer today, so there's this example of praying for the safe arrival of a traveler on the road. So when you read that, you can reflect and think that, so imagine there is a dear friend out on the road. They're far away and they are coming. And just imagine that happiness and relief you feel when they actually make it safe, when they're actually here, when they're coming. You're so happy. And then, or imagine if they don't make it. For example, their airplane crashes. What kind of suffering would you then experience? So that is, this verse kind of encourages us to reflect on things like that. So first we need to recognize suffering. And then we recognize the antidote. What can we do about it? So we already understand the feeling of happiness, but we need to recognize suffering when we make such a prayer. And so what it all comes down to in this prayer is the essence of cause and effect, karma. And mainly it is the negative, the cause of suffering that we want to protect others from. Since we already know happiness, there's no need to protect them from that. So we want to, when we make this prayer, we recognize suffering and we want to protect them from the cause of suffering, which is non-virtuous action. So, and at the root of that is self-grasping. And so most people have love for their near and dear ones, their friends and relatives and so on. But that kind of love is also impermanent, and also it varies in degrees. Even animals have great love. There's no animal that doesn't have love. So anyone, any being possesses love to some degree. And then there's some humans, some people who even say that I don't even love my own mother because she treated me badly when I was young, for example. But so when you think about the kindness of all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have been your mothers. For example, an insect like an ant, 100% has also been your mother in a previous life. That is, you see that when you recognize karma, when you trust in karma. And so when you see that, then love more naturally arises. And then you can say in the opening prayers, may beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. So essentially, may they have love and may they be free of self-grasping. And there's nothing else that will actually protect them. There's nothing else that will actually help them. So what needs to happen is we need to send them love. And if you pervade beings with love, it will actually reach them. And that is because ultimately our minds are one. We possess all the same Buddha nature. And therefore, if you cultivate love, it can pervade all beings. So for that, you first need to see the good quality, the importance of love. It is said that love is the power that can pervade all, the all-pervasive power. So it's the mind that pervades. And whether or not your mind pervades with love, you have to see for yourself. If your mind pervades beings with love, then you would be aware of their suffering. You would feel their suffering. And that's really necessary. And when you feel their suffering, you benefit them, your love benefits them, and you also purify your own self-grasping and your own negativity. But you need to have that feeling. For example, if I'm far away, I'm in America, and I have a dear friend over in Tibet, and then they call me, and I'm so happy, I really feel them. Sometimes that may bring tears to my eyes by just hearing them. And then, of course, I wouldn't care about anybody else. But if something happens to my dear friend, then I will cry. And so we have to think about all beings in this way. And just how you care for your dear friend, you should care for all sentient beings and think of them in a similar way. And you can do that once you understand the preciousness of love and understand that there isn't a single being who hasn't been my mother. So it's important to recognize that first. So you have to recognize the suffering of beings and feel their suffering. When you feel their suffering, that's the beginning of love. And until that has arisen in your own mind, you can verbally recite, may all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness, but it's meaningless until you actually feel it. Milarepa had said, meditation has to be infused, or practice has to be infused with a direct experience. So now we will take a short break.
Three same just Lamka, Tawa, Gomba, Juba, some non same the Lamka, three, Sadar, three, Tita Shake Toba, Montani, Mongme Pastor, Lunga, Ta Costum and Charles, they young worry, do some take this order, Zuba, what three child we were. Three malaria, and this somebody. Don't need the sun, Nancy, Salam Yerenba, the Lautata, the did the theatre. Now you told my Gondiona, Sorora Tomba, the Tati, the Mario, yes, the Tayo, Lautata, the did the theatre. Salam by here, the Taman shade over it. You know, that. Today, she said to our contact, you know, we were then duty somebody in here. Tana and the Jeep Pama, Pama, the question, I'm a touch boy of myself. Ranga, I'm a type of Shibasan. Three draw main chinny, taggy on many. I'm a cook military minutes to roll it at the party. Titi can't had a young tabok, lay start somebody, Mother Kajet the road, you already to roll it while you already. The drug mother boy, but sometimes there is someone who's so sorry, another son, Chichonga, Dini, the large, got just in Yansan, large in the Chetan, another Jude, sent to Luchan, there in Chago, the Shona, the church of the root out the way, there in Chago, the show, Tarata Sanjake, Chupo, Jet, on the Tawasan, similar so, Tawasan, and the Kari Yami and Tato Santo typical that I don't know. Kosovina.
That's all?
Yeah.
And so our path is the path of the mind is that path of the view, meditation, and the conduct. And that along that path of the mind, there have to be some signs that we are on track. And so it is said that some of those outer signs are a sign of learning is calm and peaceful behavior, disposition. A sign of meditation is an absence of afflictive emotions. So there has to be a sign. And an inner sign is an arising of love and compassion and patience. And Milarepa had said that when we progress along the bhumis and the paths, the progression of bhumis and paths is an increasing clarity of seeing emptiness. And that has to be accompanied by signs. That is accompanied by signs. And so there has to be a sign of this realization of emptiness. Because when we can speak about the bhumis and the paths, so many people can speak about them very well, but that has to be accompanied by the actual signs of having realized that. And that is not a sign of learning, is a calm and peaceful behavior, and a sign of meditation is an absence of afflictive emotions, and then also an arising of love. For example, you will respect your parents. You will see your mother as very precious. And actually, just that alone is what makes one a human being. So if you have that, you really qualify as to be a human being. If you don't have that at the very least, you're even worse than an animal, actually. Because animals are born as an animal due to ignorance. But then even animals have great love for their children and their mothers. It's just to a different degree, but they all possess love. And if we as human beings don't even love our own parents, then we are even worse than an animal. And so now in the practice, if you cultivate faith and devotion in the deity that you're practicing and in the three jewels, as a result or sign of that, your mind will become quite relaxed. because the ice block is melting. And when the ice block is melting, you can use water in different ways. So therefore, it is said that the 84,000 teachings of the Buddha have their root in bodhichitta. This is really the essence of it all. So whatever practice you do, it all comes down to bodhichitta. Lasso? And in our linear supplication, it speaks about the view, the meditation, and the conduct. And so, the view, meditation, and conduct speak about the fruition, like may this be gained. So the ultimate state of enlightenment. Milarepa also said that the result or the fruition arises from within the mind or comes down to the mind itself, is experienced by the mind. And Milarepa said that in terms of the view, he said that the view that is proclaimed must be in accordance with the actual words of the Buddha. So then those words become an ornament. And he says that the meditation or the practice has to come from an actual experience or be infused with direct experience. And then for the conduct, he said that the conduct has to be enacted in a timely manner. So that means that there's a certain time when we begin to act, for the benefit of others, and so that's basically the time when the afflictive emotions are transformed into primordial wisdom. And this is also referenced in the 37 Bodhisattva practices. There's a reference on there's a certain time in your mind. And so that time is when you realize emptiness, essentially. So the stages of the path, the bhumis and the path, are nothing but increasing clarification of emptiness. And signs of realizing emptiness, as we mentioned, a sign of hearing is a calm and peaceful disposition. A sign of meditation or practice is an absence of afflictive emotions. So all of these instructions are really interconnected. And now in the lineage supplication, it speaks about the view as a fortress. May the fortress of the view be gained. But it's the same as what we mentioned Milarepa had said. Milarepa had said that in terms of the view is actualized or mastered once you have gained complete certainty from within. And that must then be in accordance with the actual words of the Buddha. So.
ranke shira shigma de tan sapore ta dong chi ba de mala be dromdo nang ne cho ba lo tabla de ta am je ram so ti ranke semge gon ja nyani che mo ga ni sem gu bi de lo de to da ka ri yo ran sem de ka ri do cha ta go le cha te la de sem da nam ka che mi na ta long de che ba yin so de sem da ta yo ne te sa 오, 세를 마보도 선호 이제 뛰나 이제 대화도 동에 다 마보 적서나 들들이 농다로 마보고 다 장나들 무고한테 무미 동마라 주제라 팜 주제다 동마지 팜잖아 들이제 이제 뛰 감돼야 되나 동마로 통투거리 되면 별로 랍치모로 드시지 공부를 팜잖아 또 뭐지요 말이 선호 이제 뛰에 빼나 잡을 상강들 잡차 방법 요래 이제 뛰 감탐해 봐야 돼 고마를 막고 터져를 까만 때 까만 차탈 선 터져를 놓탈 땐 주제 있나 다 봐서 사지 까는 주제 담테면 다 봐야 통제될 땐 주제 있으면 다 봐야 주제의 이유는 니 터져도 다된 주제라 그래 니스 매력이 실이 용 말이지 오 따라 타서랑 샘도다 샘은 이렇게 되는 이유 말이지 내 니면은 남칼 이유 말 남칼 이 가려서 담아서 나카라게 오고걸 얘기는 오 나카를 이덕스 오 나카데 땡오덕 땡 나카를 오 사이 말이 또 이거 말 잡서 찍자요 말이 그래서 사드 토도리 사이트에서 호텔한테 돈이 잡대 돈이래스 그래서 또 이거 말 잡사면 그 샌드고 벌써 만에 리즈가 말이스 리즈 토도도 아주 참에 라리 서빙은 저 주제한테 이렇게 내 롱도 카메라서가 서로 이제 띠다게 봤던지 주제 조금 다 공장이래 엄마다 말이지 또 나를 세를 쳤거나 진짜 나대 그러지 나도 봐지 가리들 제일 때 나도 그러면 생물이 이렇게 되잖아 남도 내 방가 마음과 지가리 그래 사실 가가면 숨을 기양 메시지 랍데 줄을 또 들어가서면 책들이 고소를 기양 메시지 시랑이 책장 마삼 나도 책장 매버 샘들 저다 아시 되디라 오 나도 내 방가 마음과 맞지 되니 벌 샘들 가리자도 오 또샘 만도 제라 사람이 사람된다 너 이제 또 어디 대상으로 살동성적 어따티 처들 검장이 하는데 살동성적만 내라 다 비지 못해 오 가디는 생살동이 남카나지래 내가 파 철제지 하면서 파셔야 하면서 어따 제셔매 봐 참다니 좀 들이 저기데 생콜은 제셔매 없잖아 다 뒤로 알아서 동네 답지 남도 줄에 싸디래디 이렇게 필요 대청 코드를 코아트 대 코드면 생물에서 제시면 좋지 오 셔츠는 몇 세비 세우면 양물이 독서로 알아도 돼 양물 다 산지사 죽을 탐로래 레레시나 대지마도 죽을 들이 제지 오면 돼 들이들 남가다 도지 창디 빨리 봐봐대다 도지 창 넣어요래 빨리 봐봐대 오 센서를 잡동데 미주면서 오 이 탐지들도 제 또 말이지 셉트 살람에 셈 또마 싸마 하고서 다 톡들이 잡을 금상에 용제는 다 사탐지 야변이 나와 yap라 또마 열레스 셈 콜랑을 야변이 탐요레스 오 싸와 yap라 또마 연데 다른 거 어때요 내와 yap라 또마 연서 오 내가 차지 yap처레스 또 차지 용저처레스 오, 내 동성 좋대 다들 좋대 하소 내가 내 좋아 걔네들이 저들 생물 것들 싹 동성 좋대 다들 요금이 딱제 답이 잡다 가야돼 내가 그 공장 애들을 다 줘서라 여버질 오랑 샘데 산지래 내가 지상지 산지는 가래서 남도 저바 타마 상성 나도 때때면 나도 최초로 대파 답고 맞아를 매일로 그래. 답고 잘 정들지 너도 참을. 이 처럼 참을. 나도 진짜 답고 맞아를. 티 타르가리 나타 베자끼리 끼라야 되나 도디 용의 셈 레파사고 되게 사와 베리 방을 나도 탐지 받도록 나도 칠만지 서답에서 레파사로 따면서 나도 탐지 도를 셈 남가도 대하고 되는 남가게 셈도 남가 제비나 죽을 놈도 좀 봐야 이게 죽어양 때리 이시양 때리 내를 슬라 탐지 20아들이 대들한테 남가 감놈의 성질만 20아들이 가리라고 요래 남가한테 이 통화리 요래지 오 셈되게 남가 제기 시스템 들이 탐지 남가 감놈 마성과 직접은 들이 하고 요래지 사기가 대하고 또 들이 내록 돌아 시합 바로 내록 돌아 투바 걸면서 언제나 자가 숨말이 말라리 밖에 내록 돌고 바로나 시합 사와로나매 제 말에 송가 어디 척좀 찍고 척가가나 데이터를 하고라 들이 제일 내록 통해서 내가 다 좋은 거예요. 그 셈 대식 좀 못해 가나 뭐는 뭐가 좀 코디가 셈 대식 좀 못했는데 그래 셈 대식 좀 못하네 셈들 나지니요 말에 이 과들을 하고 요들이 저한테 또 남도 가르쳐 남도 또잖아 그래 격담지 또 때문에 사람들이 방송에서 남도 문제인 봐 되게 telefoon daji ni me di ba ko zo ta chou chang da di de to de to da ta chou da di pha to cha yi li sem sa tong nam kha de sem ko la ji de o sem yi ye le chang ji de la ji me de jok ji zi na jok wa chang ye le de la ji le na jok ji ne de ko de chu ta de lo ma jok wa che ya lo ma ko de chu ta na ko lo ma song ba yo ma le so o de lo song de long de lo ba ga da na 파 롱을 빨았다. 저런 게 셈을 딱 깨게 인가 요르더니 셈을 가장 이제 호텔 계셔서 와매서 그 공장 문화 잘 셀로다. 공장 문화 동탐제 쪽도 누가 사도서 저기 뛰네. 사고서 뭐요래. 대통령이 저쪽으로 왔다는데 데이터 하고 또는들이 따로 정도데. 제일 계셔면 잡고 그래 된증난 강함에 답을 잠깐만 토선 셈토 말이 되더라고. 데이터 하고는 따로 좀 더 되는 대통령들이 따로 좀더 요랬지.
And so this fortress of the view, so now I'm just speaking from my own personal understanding, and I may not know how to explain that perfectly, but this fortress of the view has a very deep meaning. It's very profound. So, for example, Milarepa, how he would explain this fortress of the view, he said that the view has to be ascertained from within. So you have to decide upon the view from within through your own direct experience. Meaning that you have to look at your own mind. You have to see your own nature, your own true nature. And when you then see that your mind is no different than space, then you have mastered the view. And so you may think that in terms of the view, there is just so much to it. There is this whole outer universe which is really endless, and there's endless sentient beings, and they experience endless happiness and suffering. There are so many endless different teachings and scriptures, and so you may think in this kind of way of all is really kind of endless, and you think this way if you kind of perceive a concrete, a substantial reality of things. Ultimately, all of this is empty, and because everything is compounded, and everything that is compounded is empty. So if you understand that, if you realize that, you will see the world, but also see its empty nature. So for example, even if you have a mountain, a large mountain, it is also just composed of many different particles, which in the end are empty, even though it seems so large and so solid. And then we have this world, which seems so large and solid. And then actually there is not just this world, but there are many worlds like this. This is just one planet, but there are many other planets and worlds like this. And each and every day, many of these worlds come to an end and new worlds are formed. When we look into a night sky, we see many stars out there, and the light of these stars actually is the kind of the a planet going up in flames. And so it happens all the time. And there's all these endless worlds out there. But all of this is compounded, and whatever is compounded is impermanent. Whatever is impermanent is empty of self-nature. So what we call compounded basically is something that is dualistic, something we see as separate from us. The mind itself, primordial awareness, is not separate. There is no duality within that. So within mind, within space, there is no duality. For example, if you have those two, you make two holes with your fingers, and it looks like there's two. So you clearly see, yes, there's two holes. And then because of this kind of construct of this, like the fingers making those holes, then there's also directions. There's an upper direction, there's a lower direction. But then when you open up those holes, those fingers, then there's no more limitation. There's just space. There's just emptiness. And that's all pervasive. And so just like that, that's the nature of the universe that seems so solid. And like the earth, it's just a clump of earth, really. And in the end, it will disperse. And when it disperses, all this dust just becomes emptiness. And so that's its nature to begin with. It's pervaded by emptiness. And then the same is true for ourselves. So we think, grasping at a concrete reality, think that I'm this body. We identify with that. But that's not what you really are. The body will also just disintegrate like the world. That's also mentioned in the 37 practices, that everything is impermanent. Your body, your enjoyments, your houses, all those things, it will all turn into dust because it is a material thing, it is impermanent. So then you may think you find yourself within the mind. So you are this mind, this consciousness. You think that's me. But where is it really? So we still identify with the body. It's still this body. And so how we can transcend it is by looking at that mind that we identify with. So you look at that mind and look at that space between thoughts. So all past thoughts have stopped and the next future thought has not yet arisen. Look at that space in the mind between the thoughts. In the Genji's Mahamudra, Tilopa had said, without a single thought, decisively look at your true nature. So it begins with without a single thought. Don't think anything at all. Look at the mind that has not a single thought, the thought-free mind. So there is this moment where no thought, the past thought has gone, future thought not yet arisen, the next thought isn't there yet. There's this space between the thoughts. Look at that space. What is it? How is that mind? And so if you think there's nothing there, you can't say it's nothing because there's still, you're clear, you're conscious. But then you can't say there is something there because what's there? It's emptiness. There's nothing solid there. And so this is what we call this unity of clarity and emptiness, which is also shown in the image of Samantabhadra Yab Yum, for example. And if you just continue to abide within that state of empty clarity, it is a very happy state. You're just abiding within space. You're happy because you have realized that this nature transcends birth and death. There is no birth, there is no death. Even though the body dies, the mind doesn't die. And that seeing is called seeing the Dharmakaya. So you recognize that the mind transcends birth and death, but then you go on wandering in samsara due to the karmas, habitual thinking that you have accumulated. So you keep wandering in samsara, and this is what we call cyclic existence. And the mind keeps going on. Even though a person dies, the mind never dies. And after the person or the body has died, you will either go on wandering anywhere in the 6 realms of samsara, or if you have been a practitioner, you may recognize the Dharmakaya and attain enlightenment after death. And in this way, become inseparable from the Buddha Vajradhara. The Buddha Vajradhara is represents that nature of the Dharmakaya, which is an unceasing state beyond birth and death. And that is also what we call the wisdom awareness kila. Wisdom awareness kila essentially is that unchanging state of the Buddha Vajradhara or the Dharmakaya. So the clear and empty nature can never cease to be. Even if the whole world comes to an end, this never ceases to be. So this clear and empty nature is the mind is empty, and there is a clear awareness of that empty nature. And that ultimately is Samantabhadra Yab Yum, or any deity Yab Yum. The clarity aspect of your mind is the Yab, the male, and the emptiness aspect is the Yum, or the female. Or if you practice the channels and winds, here we are introduced to empty bliss or bliss emptiness, where the bliss is the Yab, or the male, and again, the emptiness is the female, the Yum. And this emptiness, or this union of emptiness and bliss, is what we call supreme bliss. And that's actually the name of Chakra Samvara. Demchok means supreme bliss, or Chakra Samvara. So this mind that is clear and empty is beyond the extremes of existence or non-existence. It is beyond the realm of analysis. You have to directly recognize it and find the Buddha within your own mind. And you find the Buddha in your mind when all ordinary thinking is cleared away. When all these thoughts just dissipate like bubbles in water, like ripples in water. And then there's just no thought in your mind. The point is not that there is no thought, but you don't hold on to any thought. If you don't cling to any thought, they will just dissipate like ripples on water. The moment you cling to a thought, it solidifies. So the key point is not to cling to the thought. And that's also really essentially the meaning of the Kilaya mantra. Benzakili Kilaya is the clear mind, which is Vajrakumara, Vajrakilaya. Sarva Bignan Pamhumpet is the destruction of hindrances, the destruction of thoughts. Sakya Pandita had said that once there's grasping in your mind, you do not actually have the right view. So that the right view is to recognize that mind is no different from space. That is to master, to recognize the Dharmakaya. That is Dharmakaya, that is primordial wisdom. That is the wisdom being. So the wisdom being is like space. And there is nothing that doesn't fit into space. Everything is encompassed by space. So what we call the so-called wisdom being is that it is space-like by nature. Wisdom because it is primordially present, like space. If you understand that, you understand the essence of your mind. You understand that the Buddha is within your own mind. So Longchen Rabjam, as we had mentioned, had said that there is no higher learning than to realize the nature of your mind. And Milarepa had said, aside from realizing the nature of your mind, there is no other perfection of wisdom than that. So those masters may have used slightly different words, but the meaning is exactly the same. So you have to see the nature of the mind yourself. When you see it in that moment, you decide, you are certain, there's no more doubt in your mind. And so all beings in the six realms possess Buddha nature. Buddha nature pervades them all. And that mind is non-dual. Within that space, self and other are not separate. That is the understanding that you should gain. And once you understand, you have to experience it. You experience it by recognizing all the thoughts arising in your mind on an ongoing basis. So that is the Sarva Bignam Bamhum Pet. You recognize the thought on an ongoing basis and you don't cling to those thoughts. You don't grasp at those thoughts. And by not clinging at those thoughts, you will also cease to cling at a dualistic existence of self and other. And so first you destroy self-grasping through the relative bodhichitta. And through that you realize that my mind primordially has the nature of the Buddha. Or in the Dzogchen teachings, it is said that fundamentally all phenomena of samsara and nirvana are perfected, which is the great completion, the great perfection, because they all are encompassed by space. There's nothing that doesn't fit within space. They all have the same space-like nature. So you look outward and you see all these different scriptures, but then you take their essence and you look inside your own mind. And you find that this mind is just like space. It is beyond birth and death. If you just read the Samantabhadra prayer one time, actually you can understand everything. The meaning of everything is in that Samantabhadra prayer. The entire meaning of all Mahamudra and Dzogchen teachings. By reading this prayer, all doubts can be cleared away. By understanding it, you can attain the fortress of the view. You recognize my mind transcends birth and death. And knowing that, there is no more fear of death. And that's the essence of this fortress of the view, or gaining the fortress of the view. When you gain the fortress of the view, all doubts will be dispelled. That's all.
second garland issue forth, passing from my mouth into the mouth of the consort. The self-resounding mantra proclaimed by the inconceivable Dakasandakini in the consort's four chakras arouses the mind stream. From the consort secret place the mantra garland enters my vajra, and the deities residing within my channels proclaim the sound of the mantra. I visualize the mantra garland dissolving ceaselessly into my heart.
Om Benza Kala Kala Yanza Hom Babo Katam Kayen Zaye Benza Ye Antute Aparante Marazena Tamadana Ye Sarva Bene Bam Hom Pe Om Benza Kala Kala Yanza Hom Babo Katam Kayen Zaye Binzaye Anjite Aparanjite Marasena Tamadana Bine Bam Hom Pe Om Benzar Kele Kelayan Za Hom Bam Ho Kadam Kayen Za Binzaye Anjite Aparanjite Marasen Pamadana Sarva Bine Bam Hom Pe Om Benza Kele Kela Yanza Hom Bam Ho Kadam Kayen Za Benza Ye Anjede Aparanjede Morosena Pamardan Sarva Bene Bam Hom Pe Om Benza Kele Kela Za Hom Bam Ho Kadam Kayen Za Ye Benza Ye Anjede Aparanjede Marasena Tamadana Ye Sarva Bene Bam Hom Pe Om Benza Kele Zaye Benza Ye Anjade Aparanjade Marasena Tamadana Sarva Bene Bam Hom Pe Om La la o ga 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 na ja 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 da 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 na da 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 na ba 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 ya ra la wa sha ga sa ha ja ba om o ra ra la la o ga 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 na da 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 na da 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 na da 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 na ba 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 Yara lava shagaza kyaso Oma la 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 ga 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 na da 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 na da 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 na ba 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 ma Yara lava shagaza kyaso Om Benza Sano Samai Mana balaya beda sato tenoba titanda do me bava sute kayo me ba supo jayo me bava anara do me bava sarva sute me tayata sarva kama sutta titan jayam guru ha ho pangava sarva tatan gata bedana Om Benza Sato Samaya Manu Palaya Benza Sato Tenoba Titanda Do Meba Sudakayo Mebava Subujayo Mebava Anurado Meba Sarva Siddhe Mitayata Sarva Karma Sudame Titan Shayam Guru Ho Banga Sarva Dadangada Benza Mame Benza Benza Bava Ma Samaya Sato Om Benza Sato Samay Manabalaya Benza Sato Denoba Titanda Donde Bava Sudakayo Meba Subochayo Mebava Anurado Mebava Sarva Siddhe Mitayata Sarva Karma Sudha Titan Shayam Guru Ho Bangave Sarva Sotangada Sato Omeye Dharma Hit de baba wa he den tukin tatangata he yo wa den tukin zayo nerot evan bodhi ma shamana yeso Ome ye dharma he de baba wa he den tukin tatangata he yo wa den tukin zayo nerot evan bodhi ma shamana yeso wa ome ye dharma he de baba wa he den tukin tatangata Hey, over there to Genzayo Naro, one body ma Shamana Yazo Barje Parvela Zoye Shana Wenjo Pamba Page 36. Lama renze la dan kando tam je nong kala menje to da wang ten yen den tene jing ku ne don nan jo banal sin jen bel jen to ze wa jen bu gong ba ya Do sarva mene bahome Om Vajrakilaya sarva mene bahome Om Vajrakilaya sarva